What up? What up? What up? What's good, everybody? It's Sports Dead. You already know what time it is. I'm bringing you the latest and the greatest, information that we have out there in regards to, high school sports, recruiting and things like that. We wanted to. This channel was originally created to talk about the recruiting process and how that affects young aspiring athletes and also young aspiring athletes, players, and coaches, also and parents as well, and giving them an idea of what to expect. But there has been a lot that's been going on in the just in the area of news and high school sports in Michigan in particular. But COVID-19 has definitely made let its presence be known. In a sense. It is definitely a game changer, has changed up a lot of things. And we're going to talk about that today. And we're going to get right into it. I got, and like I told you guys before, I have, special guests and all that good stuff with us. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be an interactive situation. Those of you that are in the chat, always make sure that you're keeping the chat live. The responsibility of the chat, of the energy in the chat, falls on you guys. Everything doesn't fall on me; it falls on you guys in your interaction. So, it's always good to tap in and just let us know who's out there or whatnot, and and we'll do what we got to do. Hey, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe, share this information, get this information out there as much as possible. Hit the notification bell and all that good stuff, so you'll be updated when we are posting new material. So it is definitely it's a sad day in sports, high school sports or whatnot, but it does give us hope. We do have hope, and things like that. And so, but I got special guests lined up for everyone today. I got Scott Merchant of Chippewa Valley, who's going to be talking to us and coming up shortly. And he's going to talk to us from a football perspective and how this whole ordeal has affected COVID-19. How it's affected high school sports and high school football in particular. And what are the next moves? Talk about the MHSAA, the decisions and things like that. He's going to give it to us from a football perspective. Then I also have, a good friend, I have talked, who I, got a chance to know, and he's a great guy, Coach Paul Tocco at Dakota High School. He's going to be joining us and talking about the information from he's going to be giving it to us from a basketball perspective and how, things are looking for that. So we're going to just have a great conversation. And then, we're going to have some miscellaneous topics or whatnot. This is not a scripted situation. We want people to, come in and feel free and things like that. Let everybody know that we are in the building and we are live, baby. We are live. Who we got in the chat? So we got a few people in the chat. Talk to me a little bit. Let me know what's up. And we're going to get started. Oh man, it's been a busy week. And we're gonna chat about a lot of stuff that's going on. So I did do wanted to talk to you guys too about my last interview. Make sure that you checked it out. I did an interview with Rashad Phillips, and this guy was absolutely phenomenal, absolutely amazing. He gave us the information from, gave us feedback, detailed information about basketball and from a high school perspective. And so, it was really dope. We had a wonderful conversation. We just sat back and kicked it, talked about a lot of things. So make sure you check that out. We're going to be talking about a statement that he made from that interview on this live as well. So making sure that you're tapping in for that. Alrighty, let's see what's up. Yes, sir. Awesome. So yeah, man. It's just been wonderful situation from that. I mean, that guy, make sure you check out the interview because, that guy was, he did play pro, went overseas and things like that. But he actually could have been a star in the NBA. The dude was absolutely phenomenal basketball player who definitely inspired me. And, he still does to this day. He has his daughter. He's imparting it, into her now. And that inspires me to help my daughter as well. So it's just crazy. He also had an experience with Kobe Bryant. He played in the Magic Round Ball Classic, and Kobe Bryant was playing there, coming straight out of high school as well, and he got a chance to compete against him, and which was an awesome honor. It's just so make sure that you're checking that. You get a chance to tap into that interview or whatnot, and we're gonna keep things rolling and keep it 100 and just keep it moving. What's going on with you guys? What's going on with you guys? It's been a busy week. Finally made it to Friday. A lot of us don't get excited about Friday because we still got a lot of stuff that we got to do on Saturday, right? And then we find stuff to do on Sunday. I work from home. Work from home is cool, but it just makes you look around and you're just like, man, I am always busy because that there's something to do around the house all the time. Something to do around the house all the time. If you are new to the channel, make sure that you subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. And click on the notification bell as well. Make sure you stay tapped into what we're doing on the channel. Guys, I literally have been going, out of my way and really chasing people down to try to get good quality interviews for you. If you have questions and things like that for me that you want me to ask on your behalf, hit me up. You know how to reach me. I'm on multiple social media outlets. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. You can find me. I'm on of course I'm on my YouTube channel. So make sure that you tap in and let me know if you want me to cover a specific topic. Let me know if you think it'd be a great idea if we get interviews with certain people. If you want me to do more lives, that I'm perfectly fine with that as well. But I am just looking to just have a great time. And with growing this particular channel, it's been awesome getting to know people, getting to know how things work, trying out different things. And it's just been an amazing experience with this whole YouTube world and and this whole channel thing, and trying to get it up and running, and the challenges that you deal with that, and but you got to remain consistent with it and things like that. So the goal is just to get as much information out as possible, because at the end of the day, it's really there are certain things that you need to know as a parent, player, and coach, because once again, I'm interviewing coaches and things like that. So you're going to get different perspectives, right? Because a lot of times you find out people think that their way is the right way, and don't really listen to other perspectives. But listening to other perspectives can definitely, and just approaching the situation with the open mind in general, can take you a long way and can cause you to get better. Because the truth of the matter is that you can never stop getting better as a parent, player, and coach. And so, but there have been some coaches that have come on and dropped some great information, great nuggets, and I'm hopeful that this information is getting out not only to the parents and players, but also to the other coaches as well. And and so that's the goal, and that's what I'm looking to do. And so make sure that you spread the information. If you know someone that has a kid in high school that's going through the recruiting process, or that's going to be going through the recruiting process and just don't know what to do, reach out. Tune into the channel, give them the information. This is a good place to start, and you'll learn a lot more information. 100%. If you're new to the channel, please make sure that you subscribe. I told you guys we got some interviews coming up today. So we'll have some special guests that's going to stop in. We got Scott Merchant from Chippewa Valley, who's going to be coming up talking with us in a little bit, and then and he's going to give us the information from a football perspective, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Then later on in the show, I also have Coach Paul Tocco from Dakota High School, who's going to be stopping in and talking about things from a basketball perspective. And so so we are going to be we're going to be doing we're making it happen. We are making it happen today. All right, we are making it happen today. If you're new to the channel, make sure you say something in the chat so we can see you. We can give you a shout out. This is live interaction within the actual chat or whatnot. I can see you guys, and I will acknowledge you. Just let me know who if you tapped in already into the comments and things like that. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. All right. Don't forget to subscribe. All right. Let's see. All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. I can see my guests. I can see my guests starting to arrive and having conversations on the back end. That's good to know. This we're doing this how we're doing things, guys. Nothing is scripted. I'm telling you, nothing is scripted. This is how we do things, and hopefully you guys can hear me really good. My guy Joe Williams is in the building. What's up? Sports Dad, what's up, bro? Definitely gonna have you on as well, so I'm gonna ping you in at some point, so make sure that you already know what time it is. But glad you can join us, bro. So this is how we're doing things, and it's just been a wonderful, in spite of the situations that we've been experiencing with COVID, there have been some positives to the whole situation. Ever since this whole this thing kicked off, and we've been working from home and staying at home for the most part. One thing for me, it has caused me to take a look at health, and it caused me to eat a little bit better, and things like that, and be more healthier and exercise more. I didn't really realize that, going through the hustle and bustle of life, that you just forget to put time into yourself. But the next thing you know, you're overweight, and it's like, oh my God, like what the heck is going on? So, but we are excited. So we're yet excited. We're still pushing through this. This is going to really show how strong we are as a nation. Once we get through all of this, man, and it has definitely been challenging and taught us a lot. But we are once again excited to have everybody on tonight. Once again, spread the information, subscribe to the channel. We're still tapping in and trying to make things happen. 500 subscribers is what we actually shooting for. Get at me. I remember when I first started the channel, it was hard for me to get 100 subscribers, and things like that. So it's a challenge at every step, but I need your help. I can't do it without you. So listen, we are getting ready to take a dive into some things, and I am excited about tonight. It is about to go down. I got Scott Merchant. I told you guys, he is a really great guy. One of the best one of the best coaches I've ever encountered. And throughout my interaction with coaches, and I interacted with a lot of coaches and things like that. But real down to earth guy, and he really cares about the development of the kids. And I got that from had the benefit of going through that hands-on firsthand experience. And he took time out of his schedule to be with us today. And I told you guys that I was going to have him on. There he is. Coach, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. I can hear you as well. All right. How's it going, man?
It's going, Friday night. instead of playing Friday Night Lights this fall, I guess I'll be hanging out with you. So,
well, hopefully we can, hold you for a little bit. We won't hold you too long, but hopefully it's going to be a good situation, a good session. I got a feeling that you got some good information that you want to share, and I got also a feeling that you got some things that that you want to get off your chest, and we want to talk a little bit about that tonight on my show, which is not scripted, but I really appreciate you for tapping in. So let's get into it, Coach. Lots and lots of things that's happening with football, youth, high school football and things like that. And, big decision came out, a few days ago. It kind of shook the core of my very being. And, a lot of people are concerned and just don't know what to do and what to feel, because we're so accustomed to actually going into fall, football, and, this town is going crazy, major support in the area. And so, but to be told that, we won't have football until the spring. Let's talk a little bit about that. How's it been going in your world, man?
Well, it's been a roller coaster. Obviously, this is uncharted territory here. None of us have ever been through anything like this, but
right.
Once we were able to start the season, I was really hopeful. Fortunately for us, knock on wood, from June 22nd to the last day of practice, we didn't have any cases. So we felt good about it.
Yeah. When you said it was, let's back up a little bit. You said it was like almost like normal.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the first couple days, obviously it was different with the masks and the temperatures and everything, and cleaning all the football equipment. But, by day 3, you start to forget about all those things, and you're back out on the field together as a team, as a coaching staff. And you start thinking about football finally,
right.
which we really haven't been able to do. So kind of sucked us in and got us thinking it was going to go our way. And then, we had all the equipment out. We were ready to go on Saturday morning.
You were
passed out. And then we got the email at 4:01 p.m. saying, no.
Right. So talk a little bit about this, because you said it was, for 5 days, it was almost as if the world had returned to some sense of normalcy. I think you were just talking about that. Like, you have been really vocal about, how you've been feeling about things on the Twitter feed and things like that. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I think it's really difficult to tell teenagers that if you do this, and this right, you're going to have an opportunity to play. And then, I felt like our kids did everything they were supposed to do. I felt like our program did everything we were supposed to do. And then all of a sudden, after 5 days, we kind of got the rug pulled out from underneath us, and we didn't really – I never got an explanation. I was just told we're done. It wasn't – there was no meetings live of coaches. We weren't allowed to – I would have liked to have seen a weekly meeting of all the coaches, and we could share our data with each other. And, just didn't happen, man. I don't know what changed over those 5 days. I'm not aware of a lot of cases breaking out or outbreaks anywhere in the state. So I guess I would like to know that. I would have liked to have known that to explain it to my kids and my parents. But from our perspective, things were going well, and we were excited to put some pads on and see if that next phase with pads and contact was going to be safe.
Right. Wow. And so it's just, it seems like it's just been, a crazy situation from that. Like, like you said, we were moving forward, players were working hard, parents were working hard, bringing their kids to practice, or, and then they were, all you guys had a system. Talk about, what you guys, implemented, Coach, to be able to have actual workouts every day.
Sure. Well, we're blessed to have a great trainer in Heather Hellum, and she does a phenomenal job. So when this all went down, before we were even allowed to start, just doing the basic workouts that were approved by the state, we had to come up with a whole plan, not only for football for all three teams, but also, all the sports that we're going to be working out in the summer, because we had to make sure we weren't going to overlap one another or interact and all those things. And she did a great job. We spent a couple hours working on that. We had Zoom meetings. We did all that to get ready. And then we started on the 22nd. So, we had three teams going on three different fields. We had three different pickup and drop-off spots. Kids were given spots to where they were supposed to line up every day. They had to bring a mask. If they didn't bring a mask, we provided a mask for them. There was about a 12-question survey they had to fill out regarding COVID before they were allowed to enter. We took a temperature that had to be under 100.3 every day. So, there were some kids that, thankfully, they were honest and said, I kind of have a sore throat or whatever. We'd call home and they'd have to go home. So we had to police every single kid in our program, and we would have between 125 to 140 kids every day.
Wow. So you guys had a system. You guys, like you said, you along with your coaching staff, trainer Heather, also the parents and players, they just all were committed and very hopeful. I saw messages on Twitter like we were just at practices, now it's just snatched away from us like that. It's been a journey. Talk about how you think that this is going to affect the world of recruiting, Coach. Like I know that that's a concern. It's been a topic that has been passed around. I know I've heard it. How is that affecting the recruiting process?
Well, I think it's a huge concern. Maybe not for the Division I guys that are already locked in and committed to places, but the majority of your players aren't Division I guys. They're Division II, NAIA, 1AA, Division III. So, normally these seniors would have had all their exposure in the spring, during the spring of eval period, when the colleges come in and they check the kids out, or in camp season. Well, there was no spring eval period. There was no camp season. Now, to me, it's up to the NCAA and the MHSAA to say, okay, look, we're going to be allowed these 16 practices or whatever. You better let the college coaches go out on the road and go recruiting and check these kids out, because next time they're supposed to be recruiting, it's going to be winter. There's not going to be any game film. And then their season is going to be in the spring. So, I don't even know how they're going to do spring recruiting this year if they're going to play in the spring. So I think there's a lot of things out there that the NCAA needs to take a look at. I also think they should push signing days back, because everything got pushed back. So why not push that back? But, whether they will or not, obviously that's up to them. But I think we're in uncharted territory, and you have to make some exceptions to rules when things are completely different than they've ever been before. And we're in the middle of that situation right now. So I'm hopeful for our seniors. Our juniors will have a chance hopefully in the spring to play. So, they'll have that opportunity. But especially for those seniors that don't have Division I scholarships, they have to be able to evaluate our kids somehow this fall.
Right. Oh, wow. It's just challenging times, and, just unfamiliar territory. If those of you, let's just check in with the chat for a second. I see we got some people watching. Hey guys, make sure that you're commenting in the chat. If you got questions for Coach Merchant, please be sure to drop a question in the chat. Also, but just let us know that you're rocking with us. I know Deuce Dad said it's a journey. I know for sure. Myron checks in. He says, Coach Merch. Yeah. So, Coach, you actually you on your football page, you try to post informational things that's just definitely information for the parents and for the players as well to stay tuned in. Talk a little bit about this. You said this is very important for our current seniors. One less thing to stress about. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, this is a great move by the NCAA here. These are the kind of allowances that I think they have to get creative with. So obviously,
Coach Merchant, before you even go any further, though, I just got to give you some. I just got to throw this out there, just make everybody else jealous. Those of you that didn't know, also too, Coach Merchant is actually a counselor. So you not only are you getting this guy as a football coach, but you're also getting him as a counselor as well. It doesn't really get any better than that. But he's always on top of this stuff. I'm sorry to interrupt, Coach. Go ahead.
No, you're good. That's my real job. I mean, that's the job I get paid to do. So I'm glad you said that. But so the NCAA just came out this week and said because the ACT and SAT haven't been given for what's up, Trey? Hasn't been given for months, and we don't know when kids are going to be able to take it again. That puts them at a huge disadvantage for signing day coming up in December, especially if you're a Division I player. If you haven't been able to take the test once, much less multiple times to try to raise your score. So they said that, as long as you meet the core GPA requirement and the core class requirements, you're the class of 21, you will be eligible regardless of whether you have a test score or not. So kudos to the NCAA for coming up with that allowance. It's something that definitely needed to be addressed.
Absolutely. That's huge. I know at one point, right, when COVID hit, they were also they also tweaked and made a certain tweak to for the grades of the athletes as well. And now they're doing this, and I can't imagine how long that this is going to actually go. But definitely this is a benefit for young players and athletes, making sure that you stay up, tapped in. If you guys don't follow, the Coach Merchant at Chippewa Valley's football Twitter page, need to get plugged in. He posts a lot of good information, whether you're playing for the team or whether you are a Chippewa fan or not. It's just good to just follow along and just to be informed of the things that he's doing, because he's always sharing some valuable, very valuable information. So it's just been challenging times, Coach. But we definitely appreciate you taking time to stop in and chat with us as well.
Sure.
We talked a little bit too. And you said that, because a lot of us are thinking too, when the final decision came down, oh, no, football, the players were affected. But, not only were the players affected, though, but the coaches and their families were affected as well, along with the community. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, we don't obviously coach at the high school level for money. Anybody who tells you that is lying. So
right.
But when for example, my daughter is a soccer player. She plays spring soccer for her high school. She's going to be a junior this year. Right. So now all of a sudden, depending on what happens with the flipping of the seasons, I might not be able to go see my own daughter play, and I only have 2 years to go do that. Or, like Coach Wilson. Wow. Wilson's our head track coach. Well, now all of a sudden, what happens logistically if football's in the spring and it overlaps with track? Right. Coach Boone, our JV coach, is our throws coach. And, so there's just like I have a number of coaches that aren't teachers. They all took vacation time last week to do two-a-days, and now that's gone, and they're not going to be able to take that vacation. So, yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of like little practical things that unless you're in a coaching family, like you don't really know. For us, it's this will be the first time for me since I was in 5th grade that I haven't had football in the fall. So it's been a long time, man. It's been a long time. It's going to be a very strange fall, but what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And 2020 is throwing haymaker after haymaker. So we just got to keep getting up. We got to stick together and come back bigger and better and badder than before. And then hopefully, this helps us all realize how fortunate we are in so many ways. I know you mentioned earlier about, staying home and being with your family and what a blessing that's been for you. Same with me to be able to be around my children and my family. And but just, we take a lot of stuff for granted. Like we just assume every year we're going to go play football and, or play all 3 sports or whatever we're going to do. And, we always talk to the players about you never know when you're going to play your last play. You never know. You never know what might happen. You never know when your last game is going to be. This is kind of that personified for everybody. Like, when's the next time you're going to be able to go to church and not wear a mask? When's the next time you're going to go to a concert? When's the next time you can go to a movie? And, so maybe this is just a great wake up call for us to, instead of always wanting more, to just be real appreciative of the simple, wonderful things that we're blessed with.
Absolutely, Coach. I couldn't have put it any better. The last question I got for you. You think how do you think things are going to be in the spring? You think it's going to work?
I think it's going to be cold, which is fine. But hey, I mean, we told the kids, like, this is historical. Like, you have an opportunity to do something that's never been done before. We're going to roll with it, and we're going to give it our best shot, just like we always do. It'll be interesting. It'll be different, but it's still football. It's the game we all love. And I think the most important thing is that you don't quit on it and you don't give up. You just keep fighting, and then you make the most of every opportunity you get. And if that's March, so be it. But I really want to see our seniors be able to play some football and not have to go, miss their whole senior year. I know it's happened in other sports like the spring sports, and I know Coach Tocco is coming on later, and they didn't get a chance to finish the basketball season. And at least we got to play a little bit. I know the spring sports didn't get to play at all. So, hopefully we get that opportunity, and we just got to stay positive and keep working. It's out of our hands. We'll keep following the rules and the protocols and doing everything we're supposed to do. And then, let's hope they come up with a vaccine or we get this thing under control. We got to get back to school in person first. I mean, that, I think, we got in a sense of normalcy. Like, we really need to get back to school, get back to work. And then once that's kind of locked down, hopefully, we can get back to all the sports playing. I am encouraged to see like some of our fall sports being able to play. I mean, that's great. I mean, I'm really happy for them. I was really hoping they were going to vote for the UP teams to be able to play football this fall and kind of having a UP championship up there, because if they're in phase 5 or whatever, it's not their fault. They shouldn't get lumped in with everybody. Let them play up there and then we play in the spring, because they're going to have a hard time playing in the spring, man. They'll have like 18 inches of snow in April. So
I know, right?
So you just got to keep the faith and keep working hard, and you hope good things are going to happen. Like, you can't stay this way forever, right? You got to have hope.
Yeah, that's the only way, is to remain positive. During this time, I see a few players too still getting offers out there on Twitter and things like that. So, college coaches are even though they can't get out, they still have recruiting in mind, right?
That's right. Yeah, we had a couple guys over the last 2 weeks get a couple offers, so that was some positive news. Also had some great news with Coach Dunretter having his first child a couple days ago, baby girl. So he's a girl dad like the rest of us.
Yeah,
So,
congratulate Coach.
yeah, no doubt.
Congratulations. Yeah, absolutely.
So
Shout out to him, Coach Andy.
yeah.
Dunreiter, one of the best. One of the best. He's a good guy all the way around. Okay, Coach. Well, listen, Coach, I don't want to hold you too much longer, but I really appreciate you, coming on, man, and chatting with us. It was awesome. Hopefully, we can have you back under different circumstances and things like that. You're always welcome to this platform and whatnot. And we thanks for checking in.
I got one request.
Yes, sir.
You see on my back wall there, I got some jerseys up there on my back wall.
Right. I see that. Yes.
Just tell your sons that's the NFL wall. So I hope I get a couple Harris jerseys up there someday.
Oh, wow. Oh, man. Hopefully they heard that. You know what I mean? Hopefully they heard that. That's the pro wall, right?
That's right, baby. That's right.
Yes, sir. I like it, Coach. I like it. All right. Thanks again, Coach. I appreciate you.
Take care.
All right, you too. Say hello to your wife and family for me.
Will do. Same to you.
All right, take care. All right, guys, that was Coach Merchant. All right, with some good information. That was nice. Hang on. All right, hang on. I'll take care of that right now. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Try that. And let's do this one again. Yeah, that was Coach Merchant with some good information for us. And I told you, this guy never ceases to amaze me. He comes with the good information, the great intel, and we have good conversation. And we're going to keep it rolling. But as you can see, this it's bigger than us. It's affecting everybody, and we gotta stay in this thing together. All right. I got we're gonna go to my second guest that I have today. Now, this is my sport, y'all. I'm telling you, like hooping, that's me. That's what that's what I do. That's my sport. I love basketball. And I've grown to love football too. I wasn't always a football guy, but when my kids started playing it, it gave me a different perspective on things. So, and if I wanted to see them succeed, I got to learn I had to learn the sport and to be able to coach them up at it. But yeah, man, I love basketball. And so I got Paul Tocco that's with us today. He took some time out of his schedule and to be with us today. And we're going to, talk to him, add him. There he is. What's up, Coach?
How you doing, Cephas?
I'm doing great, my friend. How are you?
It's been a rough couple of months. I could tell you that. More than a couple months. It's been March 11th. I remember it like it was yesterday. And just to piggyback with you and Coach were talking about, when you talk about family, you talk about sports. We're directly involved over here, and being the head coach of Dakota and the disappointment those kids had to go through to get their season canceled on them with all the we got a wake-up call from Chippewa, and we were ready to go after that, and thank God for the wake-up call, but it just didn't formulate the way we wanted to, and obviously ending that season the way it did was about as disappointing as it can be, and having a son on that team and seniors that were ready to play, it was a tough way to go.
It was, man. like, you say you remember it like it was yesterday, man. And it's just been challenging times all the way around, Coach. But before we jump into it, let's jump in with the chat real quick and let everybody know that if you're in here and you watching, I got Coach Paul Tocco with us, and he's going to take a deep dive into basketball and all this good stuff, and the recruiting process. And but make sure that you are letting us know that you're in the chat. Say something to us to let us know that you're there. We'll give you a quick acknowledgement or whatnot, and we'll keep moving. If you have a question, please be sure to type your question in or whatnot in the chat, and we'll talk about your question. You got a comment as well, put that information in there, and we'll acknowledge you. Subscribe to the channel, spread the information, share this live. This information needs to get out. Told you, I'm just not about a person that just want to post a ton of videos, but I want to get good content out. So if you're in the chat, say something to us, and we'll acknowledge you. Coach, we got John on tomorrow. He said, great stuff, guys. That's what's up. Thank you, John.
Cephas is not just a sports dad. He's a commentator as well. I've watched him live on cable channel before. That's his next job.
Coach, you wouldn't do me. You wouldn't. I didn't. So you checked me out a couple times, huh? Wow.
I've seen you more than once. That's for sure. I've seen you on this, and great interview with Rashad the other day. That was good perspective, and obviously I've seen you up on the cable channel for Chippewa too, make special guest appearances.
Absolutely, man. Coach, I really like that stuff. I really love it. It's what I do. It's a way for me to stay attached to it, and it gives me great satisfaction. And I'm addicted to development, just addicted to the game in general. Love it from a coaching perspective, a player's perspective. I just one of those type of guys that can really appreciate it. So hopefully they'll use me more. I try to do as many as when they call me. So, but thanks for the compliment, Coach. That means a lot coming from a guy like you.
No problem. It's great when you have guys like you to support the game.
Absolutely. Now, Coach, let's get into it. Let's talk about let's talk about the this whole COVID thing. You said you remember it like it was that day. What type of challenges have you guys been facing since this happened? Because typically, I mean, we do a little bit. You guys normally do some things in the summer for basketball, but haven't really been able to do your normal thing that you normally comes around every season. So how have you guys been dealing with that and working around that?
Well, it's funny you asked that. A gentleman asked me yesterday, how's your team look this year, Coach? And I said, I have no idea. It's disappointing.
Wow.
We have not been able to get in the gym at all.
Right.
The young men have been working out. Some of them have been on some AAU's teams down in some southern states, let's say, that have let them play down there on their AAU teams. So there's been some things going on with that. So I keep up with the boys that way, and they've been working out. But as far as a team, we have not been able to do anything as a team, and it's disappointing because June and parts of July is big for us to find out what we're going to be like the next year. We're just getting new information on every day on what we're can and can't do, and hopefully within the next week or two we'll be able to set up some workouts for the fall. I just feel terrible for football. I'm going to be honest with you. I've been a football coach for a long time, and to have football canceled like that, and I know you guys said earlier that you like to see those other sports going, and I agree in some sense, but in other ways I feel like, wow, if football can't play, then how can other sports play? It's just how I feel inside, and it's hard to say it, but what? That's how I feel. It doesn't seem very even as far as what the comparisons with sports are concerned.
It doesn't, and it just doesn't feel the same, man. And you've been trying to find some normalcy in all of this chaos. With everything else that's going on in the world, Coach, and it's just been crazy. But I have been seeing, on a positive note, like I've been seeing, I saw some coaches doing some virtual, things, trying to make that happen, dribbling drills and all that good stuff, and so it's not all bad, right?
No, yeah, the boys have been staying active, and And you know what? The best thing in the summertime, we have them over here all the time before the boys left for college, is driveway basketball tournaments, man. They go at it 2-on-2 and 3-on-3. So I've that's been my way to watch, to take the time away a little bit and be able to watch the young boys in the neighborhood go at it, and from my son's friends, and they still be able to play a little bit. And it's just tough. It's tough being without organized sports right now. It's a difficult time in our lives.
Right. I was told by one coach. I was told by one coach. He said the best basketball players are made in the driveway.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, man.
So unfortunately sometimes they put the rim at 9 foot and they all have fun. So that's still they can still have a good time and enjoy their summer. So
absolutely.
Overall, though, it's been disappointing. It has been, and like Coach Merchant said, we have to adapt to the times and make the best of it. There's nothing we can do. It's out of our decisions as coaches on what's the right thing and what's the wrong thing to do. We just got to follow directions that we're told, and unfortunately, these directions have gone in a couple different directions in the last couple months. So hopefully, we can all be on the same page. I'm seeing different school districts doing different things, and I don't know if that's a good thing. I really don't.
Right.
But I do agree we all need to get back in school. If we get back in school and take this, head on. It's a real disease. It's a real virus, obviously, but we have to be able to face it head on to be able to move forward.
Yeah. If you make sure that I was going to make a statement, a little controversial statement, a little bit more in the show about your last the part of your comment that you were saying, but it's just been challenging. Hey guys, make sure that you're checking in. Make sure that you say something in chat. Hey, also too, if you want to come on, if you want to chime in, I will send you the link and you can come on and interact with us as well. But yeah, Coach, it's just been crazy though. So how has this whole thing, how does this kind of like affect the recruiting process?
I think it definitely affects the recruiting process. I think the NCAA is going to have to make some major decisions here soon on eligibility, number of scholarships available, because how can you say to a senior class, you can't get your scholarship later on, and then you have freshmen, you're being denied scholarships coming in if they do or don't play. And, if college can play in a bubble, which they're talking about like the NBA is, can high school do the same? They miss out again basketball when basketball's so. I feel for the kids. Obviously, it's a tough situation for them, but we got to do what's safe for the kids. And if that's what's being safe, then I understand. But there's a lot of decisions that have to be made when it comes to college scholarships and recruiting. Some kids are still getting recruited. They're being able to play in those southern states, but it's not like it's been. We usually travel in June. We're pretty well known for going to 5 or 6 different major Division I campuses and playing for a couple days, and that's a big part of our June, and that's been taken away from us, and that's where a lot of college coaches are obviously at. But saying that, if a kid's good enough, he's going to get recruited. He's going to be, he's going to be found. So there's still email, there's still Zoom, there's still things that we can get done to put a kid in front of somebody and make sure that he's seen. And, the way these kids can develop their own highlight films, I mean, they do a good job of recruiting themselves as well.
Absolutely. Coach, speaking about recruiting, how do you feel about the whole recruiting process? Do you feel that because it used to be, me and Rashad was talking about it in my last interview, and you probably checked it out, but we talked about how the power of recruiting used to really be at the high school level. Like the college coaches would normally reach out to the high schools. And nowadays, we see more of the college coaches reaching out to reaching out to the AAU organizations. And so how do you feel about that? And do you agree that the power of recruiting has been kind of shifted and taken away from high school, but more so to AAU?
It has shifted, but I can tell you this: every Division I kid that's ever come out of Dakota, we've had quite a few in the last 5 or 6 years. I've had in-depth conversations with those coaches. They've always leaned on the high school coach's opinion. They've been at high school games. And when it comes to big time AAU basketball, I agree that those, it has swayed in that direction. But the kids that are getting recruited out of this area, sometimes under recruited Macomb County, if you want my honest opinion. But the kids that are being recruited this area, they still do talk to the high school coach when it comes to character, when it comes to how the kid handles himself in the classroom, how he handles himself around people, what's his family like. Because the AAU doesn't always get that experience with the kid too. So the high school kid coach is still, and the high school kids program is still a part of, I think, recruiting. It should be, at least, because obviously when you got kids moving all over the place and moving out of state and going to different prep schools, we don't want that to happen. We want to make sure we keep our best in the state and obviously in the area.
Absolutely. I get where you're coming from with that. So now, so with everything that has been going on, you said that so in essence, you still feel that the power of recruiting is still, the high schools it still has something to do with it.
Has something to do with it, yes. Is it probably swayed a little bit more towards AAU? Yes, but I still think that the high school coach and the high school kids program, the whole staff in general, can play a part in the recruiting process and does play a part in the recruiting process.
Well, but how do you feel about that though? Like, if it's more sort of slated towards AAU, would you like to see that would you like to see that shift towards the high schools like it used to be, or no?
I would, but
what do you think about that?
Controversially, I'll say yes, but at the same time, the MHSAA has to loosen it up and let us play more games. And we have the longest season when it comes to months and calendar days. Okay, when it comes to, we start in November and don't end until middle of March sometimes. That's a long 5-6 months, but we only play 20 games in 5-6 months. So at other states and surrounding states are playing 25, 30 games, sometimes 40, 50 games, depending upon if they're on a different, if they're in a prep school league. That puts Michigan in the back seat when it comes to recruiting process for high school basketball. It does.
Right.
So until those things change and maybe we get a shot clock and game comes a little bit more exciting, unfortunately, we're going to continue to take a back seat a little bit to AAU basketball, which becomes so big.
Yeah. Extremely big. And, I just want to hear from, different coaches, hear their perspective on it, just to see how they actually feel about the situation or whatnot. So it's interesting that you viewing it from that perspective and things like that. So, by the way, once again, guys, make sure that you are checking in to the channel, and make sure that you leave a comment or whatnot. I also want to bring in a good friend of mine, Coach Andre Douglas. Also has it. He's also an owner of a podcast, and they normally do information on YouTube as well. So Andre, what's up, man? I'll let you talk a little bit about that.
What's going on, C? How you doing, Coach? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Andre.
Good. Thank you.
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. I've just been sitting in the back listening to you guys' conversation. Very great conversation about how COVID has affected, high school sports at that level. We see what's going on at ESPN and all the major sports and things of that nature. I guess my question to add to this situation is, well, not much of a question, just as a guy who had his little league season canceled, I can only imagine what you've been through, Coach, of just like communicating. Like we cultivate a relationship with the players, and I know like you on a whole different level. Like I'm sure the relationship with your seniors has to be truly special to you. So how difficult were those conversations moving forward with them, like just living in this uncertainty?
Wow, that's a good question.
Well, I'll tell you what, very good question. I told Cephas earlier in the interviews, March 11th will go down in one of the most disappointing days in my life, to have to sit in front of those 15 kids and tell them that more than likely your season is over. And when you have to do that and kids see that, the look in their eye when all we've been talking about for, I'll be honest, since the new year, because we know that we were good enough to, I don't know, maybe, get to out of Macomb County. Let's get to a Final Four again. That's a heck of an achievement. And not saying we could, not saying that we were going to get there, but in predicting, obviously we were working hard, we were playing well, and to have to talk about that every day, and then over, especially when you have a son on the team, it's tough enough when you get so close to these seniors over the years, and but then when you have a son as well, you have to tell that too. That was extremely difficult. So I can't imagine what these kids are going through. With the spring season being canceled altogether, and then obviously now football being moved, it's disappointing. It really is. But that was a tough time in our lives, and it still is. And to wonder what could have happened.
Yeah, same. I mean, we were going into this season. Every coach goes into a season thinking this is our championship year. This is it. We got guys coming back. We got studs coming back. We got a great scheme. Schedules coming out, and it's just, I think these last couple of months have been a real roller coaster of emotions, especially with not a lot of information coming out, and then maybe wrong information coming out, and then, you don't know what to believe or who to believe, and, all these deadlines for different information to come out. So I can only imagine just at that level, just a roller coaster of emotions from the information that came out. And then finally for it to be done is, with no reason. Well, we know the reason, but, when things looked like it was going to progress, at least from a football spot. So now with basketball, how do you move forward? What's the next step for your season?
I didn't hear that last question. What would you say? It was cutting out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was saying, what was the next step for your season?
The next step for our season after being canceled, obviously, is to now somehow basically get back, getting back into training, getting back to getting in the gym. When that happens, I don't know. It's so many question marks, and it's an unprecedented time right now. And I working for the school district, I respect their decisions. I respect exactly what needs to be done. We're not going back to school in person. We're going back online, and I don't know when we're going to be able to get back in that gym. And that's a scary thought, to be honest with you. We don't want to do it. I've been a football coach my whole life, and I've been a basketball coach my whole life, and this is part of my life. It's part of my family's life. It's part of everybody in our community's life. And when the big powers cancel things, it's tough on people's lives. It really is. And I don't know. I don't have a plan right now, to be honest with you. We're hoping for the best that this disease and the virus gets under control.
Thank you, Coach. I really appreciate you taking time to come out of your schedule to come on and show and talk to us, man. And hopefully we can have you back. I really want to do some creative things with the channel. I want to, maybe get you back on and, talk about, just like play breakdown and stuff like that, like maybe a coaching situation and things like that. I think that would just be a good idea because, I want to pick the coach's brain and sometime too, situational things and like that. We could just have a quick conversation. You can take us through some of your situational things and, so hopefully we can have you back, but we definitely appreciate you. Stay safe. Say hello to the family for me and take care.
Barry, definitely. Thanks for having me. I'll come back anytime. Just need an invitation like this one and I'll be back. Thank you. Thank you for having me and nice meeting you.
Take care, Coach. Absolutely. Take care.
Take care. You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Yeah, man. And so thanks for joining us, Dre. I really appreciate you, jumping on, man. And but those questions were spot on, though, that you were asking. And there's just a lot of uncertainty right now, even with, MHSAA coming out with their decision and their talks. And there's just a lot of stuff that's going on right now, bro.
Yeah. I really like the direction of the conversation where, you guys were talking about AAU.
Yeah.
And, parents, are really, I would think this era of parents are really into their kids, not even just schooling, but into their athletics. And, they're going to find a way for their kids to play,
Right.
So
right.
if that's going to a different school district or even having to move or letting their kid relocate with family to a different state to go play ball just so they can get some tape and get that recruiting because they know how good their kid is. That's real, So when all this stuff is lifted, the pool may be thin, for a couple of years here in the state from, kids being transplanted to different organizations in different states.
Absolutely, man. You're absolutely right, bro. So, but all we can do right now at this particular situation is just stay positive and just go along for the ride and just hope the ride just don't be too long, because we want to get back in action. We want to get back to feeling normal and things like this. So hopefully those of you that are checking in, I'm having a conversation with my man, Andre Douglas, who's, who also has, a podcast show, Academy Sports Show. Dre, why don't you go ahead and do your thing about that? Invite people out, man.
Oh yeah, bro. Academy Sports Show. Me and Joel took a COVID hiatus as well, but we're getting back on track. So we got you can check us out on YouTube, Academy Sports Show. Subscribe there, trigger that bell so that way when the show's coming up, you get notifications. And then we also are on iTunes, the Apple Podcast app. You can go ahead and look us up there. All the episodes are up there. And we're going to get this thing restarted very soon. Me and Joe was talking earlier this week about getting the podcast restarted because sports have restarted. Guys are in the bubble doing their thing. So sooner rather than later, we're about to get back on and talk that talk. So make sure you guys follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Academy Sports Show, and we'll be putting out information there to let you know what day you guys can join us live. And we might be using this program thanks to Cephas.
Absolutely. And that's what we do. We show love and you definitely will be entertained. They have wonderful content. You will enjoy that. So speaking of sports though, what's going on, man? Like, bro, the NBA is looking it's looking really good, but who do you think who you taking?
Honestly, there is no favorite right now. Everybody's getting popped. You got, teams like Miami that's on a 2-0 lead right now, but you really don't believe in them. The Bucks got popped. The Lakers got popped. Portland got killed last night. The Mavs beat the Clippers. So, the one thing the bubble is given is a lot of parity. That home court advantage is not available.
Right.
Well, it's just who's going to play the best basketball.
Right.
So I think the Lakers found a good formula last game. Feed AD the ball often and early, and Dame Lillard's injury will definitely help them keep him at bay.
Yeah.
So that's real unfortunate, but that's what happens to Portland. Let's be honest. Portland, it's always something with them. Somebody gets hurt. Something like when you play for the Trailblazers, it's always something.
Right.
So, you guys can be hot in the bubble, but when playoffs come, it's always going to be something.
Yeah,
so,
man, it is.
You look at the two LA teams and Milwaukee, but other than that, man, it's hard to pick.
It is hard to pick. It's kind of like wide open right now, and that's I kind of like it like that. Speaking of NBA, I had an opportunity to interview Rashad Phillips. I'm not sure you know who he is, but make sure you check him out. But dude was it was a great interview. But he made a statement, and I was meaning to get Coach Tocco's take on that. And Coach, if you're still in the chat, say a little something for me, and I'll have you back just so you can comment on this. But let's check out this comment, Dre. I want to get your take on this. And we're almost coming to an end of the show, but I want to get your take on this and
trips where
what you think about this?
Direct everything. The game of basketball is about improvisation. It's about making plays on the fly. It's about expressing yourself. Basketball is an expressive sport. So coaches that don't allow you to be expressive, they don't need to be coaches.
What do you think about that that statement? Do you agree with that?
I like that.
That's an ebb and flow. Like you got to look at one of the greats, right? Belichick.
That's a deep question. That was a
Right.
deep statement too.
Right. Like emotions can go either way. It could be negative or it could be positive. You just got to know what kind of players you got. And you can't not let one player be emotional and not let another. So you either got to take a hard stand one way or take a hard stand another way. So a lot of coaches take the hard stand of not being emotional too much, because look at the Patriot way, right? We're here. You focus on your work. You focus on your craft, you know, and we do what we got to do. And I promise you, we'll win. But sooner or later, that wears down on guys. You know, that wears down, and that wears real thin on guys, and the guys exit pretty soon. Like, you know, I got rings, we got dubs, but I was never myself. I was never allowed to have fun playing the game that, you know, that was fun for me. So it's a hard line. It's a hard line to figure it out. Unfortunately or fortunately, either one, I don't know my future, but I haven't had the pleasure of being a head coach yet. So I can't really comment on how I would do it. But just as, because it's easier being an assistant than a head coach. Definitely easier.
So here's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna continue this conversation, you know, and we'll continue this conversation leading into next Friday, because I want to hear from coaches, and I'm going to push it from that standpoint. I want to hear from coaches, more coaches, football coaches or basketball coaches, whatever type of coach you are at this point. I want to hear from you guys. So I'm going to put that out there. And then we'll talk about that on Friday. But you and I, to just, you know, to close that gap, I actually agree with Rashad. You know, I actually agree with him, and it is a thin line. But at the end of the day, if you have one of those type of players, the essence of coaching is not about your plays or anything like that, but it's about when a player is playing up to their potential. And if a player is not playing up to their potential, and you're not getting the fullness out of that player, then you're not coaching. And how do you do that? Is you make them, you know, feel comfortable, you know, giving them, and still, you know, being that mentor and still coaching them up, but you make them feel comfortable. And the person that get comfortable is normally the one that dominates. So I agree with that. I don't think that if you're not allowing a person to, if you're not, I do agree that if you're not allowing a player to be expressive, you know, with, and allowing them, which is basically allowing them to play up to their potential. I do agree. I don't think you should be coaching. Why hold a player back? We see it so much. Why hold them back? If there are certain things that need to be done, allow them to be themselves and still teach them those components. So it's a really touchy subject, but I want to hear from you guys, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that on Friday as well. I want to know what you guys thought about, you know, Rashad's statement, but it was just so profound the way he just put it, though, and I was like, wow, that hits home.
Well, you know, it was a clip, so I don't know the overarching content of the conversation.
Right.
Are you marrying their emotions with their potential? Like, if he's not expressing his full emotions on the football field, then his potential to play great football or whatever sport it is will be dampened.
Well, no, I think it's more so just talking about like from a skill set perspective, because if a player is, you know, maximizing, you know, their skill set, then everything else come with it, the passion, the love, we'll be able to see that. But, you know, what we may not be able to see that, though, if a player is not comfortable and they're not being allowed to be who they are. You know what I mean? So, and I've seen, and the reason why I'm so, and it's a really touchy subject for me, because that happened to me. You know, that happened to me, and myself, you know, in my mind, I'm like, wait a minute, you know, I'm a I'm a 25, 30 guy, you know what I'm saying? But you're not being allowed to be that person. And, it really could destroy a person, especially a young athlete's confidence if they're not being, allowed to be themselves. So, yeah, it's a crazy subject.
Okay. Well, okay. Because the clip made it seem like he was talking about their emotions. So we're not talking about their emotions. We're talking about a coach not recognizing a player's potential.
Right.
Because holding them back in a way to where that player never fully realizes what they're capable of doing, or the player is fully capable of knowing what they're doing. Right. And the coach is still holding them back.
Right.
Well, then in that scope, he is absolutely correct.
Yeah.
If we're not talking about emotions, we're talking about potential. Yes, It's every coach's job to pull out the best potential in any of their players, no matter what sport you're doing. Absolutely. And every kid is at a different level. It could be a kid you have right now that's a dog, but all this other kid next to him is a little confidence and a prep of what to do, and he can be a dog too.
Exactly.
So that's all that is. Yeah. Most definitely. That's definitely your job as a coach. You're supposed to guide, inform, get them ready for game day, and put them in the right position with their skill set to help them be successful. So in that scheme of it, he's absolutely correct.
Yes, sir. I like that. And I'm sorry I didn't, mean to put you on the spot there, but I can understand how you were saying that we're talking from an emotional perspective. But I'm glad that, that you expounded upon that. And I agree with you 100%. So we're going to carry that. I think that's going to be a good hot topic to carry over into the next show. Me and Andre, we sit here doing our thing real quick, doing a collaborative type situation. And I always enjoy having you on the show, man. And hey, at any time, whenever I'm going live, please jump in. It's not even a question. If you can, within reason.
I got you, brother.
If you can, and I'm always looking for an opportunity to jump in your stuff.
I got you,
even though you and your partner, y'all double team me from time to time, where I can't really, and I have to go really hard and aggressive and defend myself. And I really, I really would like to see, and I can't wait till you pick your channel back up, have me back on there so we can do it. And so so the whole world can see how you and your partner, Joe Williams, really do sports dad. See, we're show the world how you guys treat me, man, and how you guys try to bully me.
Nah, man, you be, and too. That's why you laughing. You be having these Skip Bayless approaches.
What? What?
Go like you be off the deep end just to stir the pot, bro. Well, I called you a habitual pot stirrer.
Well, you know that's how I get down, and I'm be honest, I'm about to say something that's going to stir the pot right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a type of against the grain type guy, but I'm getting ready. Hold your horses now. This whole COVID thing, this whole fall sports, and no fall sports, and you got your youth football. You're a youth football coach as well, and that was taken away from you guys. So no football. My daughter, who normally is cheer during the football season, she can't do cheer off, right? So it's affecting everybody. But could it be possible, and we can talk about this a little bit more, but I'll let you respond a little bit, but could it be possible that this whole thing is about politics more than it's about COVID for real? And I'm going out on the limb here, but I think more so I'm after starting to think it, because at first when COVID first started hitting, I'm like, man, yeah, like, wow, like this is crazy, which it is crazy. I do believe that it's real. Right. But, I was focusing more so on like, the number of cases, the deaths and all this other stuff. And, throughout the whole world and globally, it was, throughout this whole world and, the United States and globally, it was just messing with me. But I started thinking, like, could it be possible that's what this whole thing is about, politics? And, of course, one thing I can say, about, the one of the things that they've been really picking on, President Trump about is, COVID and how that whole situation went down and things like that. And so is it, and I know that, that the Democrats really want to drive that home. And so this is affecting now everybody. It's affecting, the world of sports and things like that. Could it be that it is all just about politics and they want to carry this thing out so bad because COVID, right? Donald Trump, he's the cause of it, and he didn't handle it right? And so now they're dragging that through the mud as long as they possibly can to show you how he's not, fit to be able to be a president and handle a situation like this. And they want to drag it, even though it may cause a lot of pain, even though a lot of people are going to be upset because their kids, because they can't play fall. They can't go see their kids, their children play fall sports. They can't coach youth sports. But at the end of the day, we need to drag this along so that people can be upset that Donald Trump has allowed COVID to get out of control. And so, could it just be like a whole politic thing? Because I watched the documentary also too about, and this is still we still in the recruiting process, but I watched a documentary about fake news. And I know that, oh my God, I'm going a little bit too deep, but I'm stirring the pot. But I will say this: it seemed to me that CNN don't really like Donald Trump too much, but Fox News, they are advocates, So I'm just saying.
Brother, everything is politics. Kneeling is politics, but it ain't. Wearing the mask is politics, but it ain't. Closing schools is politics, but it ain't. At the end of the day, I'm a coach. I want to coach. At the end of the day, I want my kids to play. I want my family in the stands. And I want all that stuff to happen. But I want my kids and everybody around me to be healthy as well. We got to figure out what's your priorities. Your priorities have to be health, no matter what. Health over everything. Now, are there, people on Capitol Hill doing things they're not supposed to do? Of course, it's been that since the place was built. But, you got to look internally and figure out what's best for you and your family. And right now, I don't want to get COVID, and I don't want my kids to get COVID. So if you're telling me they got to sit in front of the computer to do school, I'm cool with that. If you're telling me we can't play ball, I'm disappointed, but I'm cool with that. I blame Trump or whoever because they didn't act as quickly and swiftly as all the other countries did by shutting down their borders, keeping everybody at home. But they run their countries differently. They got one person. They got a president or emperor, whatever. I know that's the wrong word, but they got one person that can say, everybody stay home. Right. We got one person for each state that goes to another person for that state that delegates to another person that delegates to everything. Ain't harmonious here, so things get messed up. And that's
I like the way you said. I like the way you said emperor.
One of those, Hey,
I got the idea of what you were saying, though. I really did.
What is Canada? Prime Minister. He's the prime minister.
Right, there you go.
Of the whole country. You know what I'm saying? And if he say shut it down, you have no choice but to shut it down.
Absolutely.
So
but that's my point exactly, though. You see how you feel, right? You say I blame whoever. You know what I'm saying? That's my point exactly. And this is it's getting drugged. It's getting dragged through the mud for so long. This whole situation, and then now it's like Donald Trump's. It's his fault. So that's what they're doing. They've been doing this for months, and that's the main thing that they can really, hold to right now and really bring a lot of attention to. And so they're going to drag it out regardless of who's hurting. And I understand you don't want your kid to get COVID. I don't want to get COVID, me or my family. I get it. It's not a fun situation. I know a lot of people that have, perished from that, but I do understand that. And I've watched a lot of documentaries and I've watched, I've done some research on the doctors and things like that, which they said that they've put people on ventilators and really didn't have to put them on ventilators because they were doing that because they thought that was the thing to do. And so now you got doctors that are coming out saying there's a treatment for this, the doctor saying that there's treatment for it, and it's not like we can treat it. We can't treat it. So it's a lot of stuff that's been that's been circulating around it. But I'm just thinking, like, here we are hurting about fall sports, and our kids and coaches and their families are affected. But really, and to me, this thing has politics written all over it, right?
Yeah, I would say it's 50-50. I try to stay out of the documentaries and all that other stuff because we know already. The world is corrupt. Everybody, on that level is corrupt. And you keep diving into it, you're going to find more and more corruptness. So I try to stay, if you call it naive, I'll call it naive. But I don't like to harbor on things that I can't fix. So
I agree with that.
If I can't put my hands on it and fix it myself, then I'm going to do what's best for the people up under me. So if you tell me to stay my ass at home, I'm going to stay at home. And I'm gonna look out for my family. Is it drug out because people want to punish Trump? I don't know, and honestly, I couldn't care less as long as they kill what's this disease that's out here destroying families and destroying lives. I gotta live in real life. And real life says that people is dying, and these kids is getting COVID, and they having heart problems after they get COVID, so they can't even play ball. So I want to be out there coaching. We should be prepping for a game right now, but I'm not. So I just got to deal with the circumstances. I'm not gonna harbor on something that I can't fix, bro.
Right. Hey, I'm with you, man. I'm with you, and I agree with that, Dre. I think that was really profoundly stated, and I appreciate that, and also appreciate you coming on, man. Like I said, I want to get more interaction from people, but I always welcome you, and I always love having you on the show. So thanks for stopping by, man. I really appreciate you.
No problem, man. You made me realize I got to find a new nook I got to find a corner in the house that can't nobody be walking by,
Yeah, hey, I don't know how it is, but hey, I like what you got so far. Hey, this time you were sitting down, you got the chair, and you got the mic, so that's really all you need. But and I'll be honest, I dig the little fella coming in the background like that. That's what we do, man. That's what we do, baby.
He got so many fans, but I don't know why.
Hey, I tell you what, it took me to yell at my peeps, yell at my family a few times. Hey, when my door closed, I'm recording. Don't come in, or I'm going live or whatever. But at the end of the day, we don't have to be that serious. But I appreciate you coming on, man, and hopefully we'll see you again on next Friday. Okay.
I got you, brother. You take care. Keep doing your thing.
Yes, sir. Thanks, man. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Another successful. This one we kind of went a little over, obviously, but when it's good, when it's getting good like that, we just cannot help it. Once again, those of you that are in the chat, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers, so get at me. And as you can see, I'm not just bringing you information that I'm not just posting just information just be posted. I'm trying to post good content and stuff that have value to anyone. So make sure that you're sharing the content, share the channel, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Make sure you check in with us on next Friday. We're going to talk about the statement that Rashad Phillips, and which is my end of my interview. If you didn't watch the interview, make sure you watch it so that you can be ready to talk about it on Friday. We're going to talk about the statement that he made regarding coaches. And so I played it earlier in the show, on the actual, on the broadcast. So make sure that you go back and check it out. All right. Happy Friday, everybody. And we'll see you on next week. Same time, same place. Deuces. Be safe too.